All right, world. Peace and love. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. Shout out to everybody that's been checking out, the stories. I said from now on, I'm gonna do my best to be vocal with the world about my experiences, some of the things that really have been real crazy, dramatic things that have really impacted not only my life, but my perspective on life, right? And one of the biggest elephants in the Serius Jones room in terms of, the media, the news, I was in countless publications, I was in the paper 4 times in California because I was charged with human trafficking. The trafficking of a human. Now, when people hear that, that's like, whoa, right? I was like, whoa, right? That's crazy. And the irony of that is, I don't know about the irony, but the dangerousness of something like that is that when you have certain terms, and I think that's the power of them, when you just say the term by itself, nobody gets into the specifics, right? And that's why it's a blessing that, shout to y'all, shout to the world, nobody's made it a thing, nobody really believed it, right? Otherwise, I probably would have been canceled, right? I wouldn't be having these back-to-back battles and y'all still jacking me and dealing with me because y'all would have believed I was a creep and y'all would have thought I did it, right? So shout to those that know that ain't even my body for real, you know what I'm saying? But we gonna get into some nitty grittiness today. We gonna get to the, pause, we gonna get to the meat of the sandwich. We gonna put it all on the table, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the feedback that y'all giving me. Like, subscribe, comment, subscribe. I ain't been telling y'all to do that, but yes, we have to do that because I gotta get this algorithm in, right? We gotta get the rhythm of the algo, or whatever, right? So please, like, comment, subscribe, all right? Do that right now. Boom, 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 right fast, just tap, just double tap. That's it, you know what I'm saying? Because we gotta, all right. So boom, human trafficking. What does that mean, first of all? Let's go to the root. As far as my understanding, that means when you basically take a human being and either against their will or with some sort of, trickery or whatevery, you convince them and you move them in a way where you're trafficking them. You're using them like, like cattle or, a product and whatever, right? And ironically, they've tried to use some of these new terms to redefine things that used to be called other things, right? Okay. So there's a saying that you don't go to jail for pimping, you go to jail for mispimping. That's the saying. I didn't make it up, whatever. This is what I understand that to mean, though. In the way that the real way, the gentleman way, the boss way, the Mac way, the player way, right? The way of your granddaddy, you know what I'm saying? The smooth linen wearing, Cadillac driving, guy that had the slick sayings and always positive things to say. And when he left the barbershop, everybody, threw him the peace sign and felt better about him being there, right? When he gave the kids dollars, you know what I'm saying? And when he dealt with females, it wasn't about, oh, I'm some gorilla and you beating somebody into doing what you want them to do. Nah, you a man of class and pizzazz and game, and you always got something smart to say, and you about your money, but you also a man of integrity, right? When you're that type of person in a woman's life to the point where she actually wants to be committed to you, your program, what you're about, right? And will go out there in the world, make some money, and bring it back to your household. Usually, if you're that type of man, that's a principle-driven man, you're not somebody that's, threatening anybody or trying to, negatively impact a person's life, but you actually really trying, you're just a hustler and you're really actually trying to get somewhere positive. Normally, those women don't want to see a man like that. They're not going to tell the police or do something negative against you, because you're really actually helping them in life if you're that type of person, right? If they really, dig you and what you're about, right? So by the grace of Allah, a lot of the women in my life, have on some level, I guess, appreciated, who I am and what I'm about. And they know that's not the type of person I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm cut from that cloth of the old school hustlers. I've been a barber. I've been, just the community aspect of just being a hustler. I've been through the whole matriculation of that. You know what I'm saying? And once I started going to different cities and kind of seeing how money moves and how different relationships are formed, I looked at like, damn, I like that. You know what I'm saying? I want my woman to feel like how this woman is clearly feeling about her man. I'm down for King such and such, and you know what I'm saying? She want to put the tattoo on her neck. She want to represent this man. That's who I'm about. I believe in him. I'm riding for his cause. I was attracted to that, you know what I'm saying? As a young hustler coming up, I didn't want just some girlfriend that's like, we go on dates and we hang out and she says she likes me and she cares about me, but she ain't doing nothing on my behalf. We ain't out here moving together. You're not invested in me in no real way in terms of work. In terms of tangibility, we're not really building a future. We're just, hoping for one, maybe planning for one. But I like the action in terms of, I'm not saying the action in terms of the game or any crime stuff. I'm saying I like the action of love. To me, love is an action word. I'm going out here every day and I'm stepping about you. The same way as if it's one of your homies, right? And I'm setting this up by, just giving y'all my mind state on, what the game is, right? And then we're going to get into specifics, all right? So boom. Even if it's one of my homies, right? Y'all have been in a situation before, you get in a fight or something like that, and your boy don't help. He don't do what you think he's supposed to do. And then afterwards, he want to, yo, you good? I'm just checking on you now. I love you, my nigga. Nigga, you don't love me. Don't be telling me, like, you aren't willing to step out there and sacrifice with me or on my behalf, right? So a lot of young black men, I believe, that became pimps, players, max, etc., that would deal with a woman in some capacity for financial gain is because of that type of thing. They've actually been real street guys. They've actually been through real things, and dealing with normal, square-minded type of women is a little bit challenging when you're actually trying to get somewhere, because most people that live a normal civilian life don't understand, right? Okay. So that, leads to you dealing with people that are of kind of a disenfranchised background, because most people that become hustlers, strippers, hoes, scammers, gangsters, whatever, part of the game of hustle, they're usually not people that had the silver spoon. They're usually not people that had good, loving families that taught you about loyalty or even how to, be appreciative to somebody, or, just be a good friend even. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they never even had that. They grew up in foster care. They've been, touched, unfortunately, by their parent, their step parents, or their real parent, or a family member. It's always usually some type of trauma or some type of, It's usually that brings somebody into the fuck it, excuse my language, to taking the risks and doing the things that normal, regular, civilian, 9-to-5 people don't do, right? So at some level, especially when you've been around and down in 1,000 towns and you get to the level where you done really done all of the work to build your name in a positive way, regardless of what people think that being a certain title makes you, right? And if you're lucky or if you're blessed, then you're able to just be you, to the point where, yeah, they might know what you're supposed to be about or whatever, but they know, but nah, that's him though. Like, nah, he's official, he's good people's type shit, right? I was able to kind of, maintain that level of respect around my name, thankfully, for a long time, right? To those that know, right? And shout to all my, shout to all my people I know, from state to state, city to city, titty to titty, from the game and from the foundation, right? what my man, my uncle, Pimpin' Ken say, from the ghetto streets to the executive suites. You know what I'm saying? That's when you've put in all of the time and the work and been going in and out of jails and, you know what I mean, just going through the drama to get to success, you build a certain level of respect around your name where people seek you out, right? They might have heard a story about you, or they might have heard, had an interaction with someone else that used to deal with you, right? And in this situation, this is what happened. This person was dealing with another person that I dealt with who, honestly, I actually thought that I could do something positive with that person, right? On a corporate level, on a legitimate level. But you know why they say? This is why they say you gotta let a hoe be a hoe, right? Because there is a certain way to deal with a certain type of mentality and a certain type of person. That is the reason for the game. Because otherwise, what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna wind up in situations like this. Human trafficking, or you could wind up in a situation, you could lose your life. You could wind up in a situation where, your family members or some negativity can come back to you by you not doing things the way they're supposed to be done, okay? And this is why there's certain things that are just no-nos. Drugs. Drugs make people act erratically and do things they're not supposed to do or normally wouldn't do, right? Just if somebody just has a certain level of low vibrationalness to them where you could just tell they're just not a positive person. They don't believe anything. They don't believe in God, etc. Right? How could you really expect to do something positive and fruitful from somebody that has that type of mentality? You over here believing that you can, we can do this, we can make it. I'm not looking at this, you're not looking at this person like, oh, you're a stripper or a hoe. You can't do shit in life. No, you don't think that way because you're a hustler. You come from the street and you thinking, look, we're going to use, whatever these vehicles to get to another positive place. Or you think that's possible, right? And I'm not talking about doing anything criminal. Follow me. I'm just talking about perspective of building with another human being, okay? Boom. So long story short, I don't know this person. I've never, met them or been around them. This other person who I knew apparently was just talking about me all the time, just saying all type of stuff, and made this person interested in me inadvertently. That's what happens sometimes when you be thinking you biting somebody's back out. Whole time you really making this other person interested in you, right? So this person comes along and says all this good stuff. You're a good dude. I don't know why this person is like that with you. I just want, somebody like you because I'm trying to get my shit together and, they kind of messed me up. I got a kid, right? Now, this is what happens too, which is also a bad thing. Entitlement. A sense of entitlement, a false sense of entitlement, which is what happens to people sometimes when you've been doing certain things for a long time. You automatically think you're supposed to get this. You're owed this from the game. Shit, I done been through this and this and that. It's about time something. So when something comes along that seems like a blessing, you don't even sometimes realize, nigga, that's a curse. You better get, that ain't for you. But it's money, right? It's somebody saying, hey, here, let me give you some money. I got this and I just want to give it to you. You ain't got to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where it came from. I don't know what you done did for it. I don't know. I don't know the specifics of your life because I don't know you, right? So I can either say, no, thank you, love. I appreciate, the offer, but nah. I'm not accepting no donations. I don't want nothing from nobody. That's not where I was at when I'm in mission mind state and I'm out here trying to stack it up and build the brand. And oh, damn, thanks. I appreciate that. Let me see what's up with you now, right? What you really got going on there, right? As time progresses, come to find out this person, West Coast, Ooh, yo, shout to the West, man. But a lot of those, a lot of, especially, my white people, they like certain type of drugs out there, and they seem kind of normal to y'all, but to a nigga like me, I'm like, wait, what? Nah. So I don't want to say too much that could be seeming like I'm not glorifying anything, and I don't want to seem like I'm saying anything negative about this person, even though I'm not naming their name or nothing. But this person was on drugs. I could not tell that immediately because sometimes people are good at hiding stuff like that, especially certain type of drugs. You might not even know, right? Until you do, right? And I'm not around like that, so I don't know. I'm in a whole nother state most of the time. I just pop up here and there, whatever. So to get to the meat of the sandwich, when you have a situation with somebody where you're doing different things or whatever, sometimes, you might have, which is a mistake, right? And this is why also, as they say, when you do things right, so you ain't got to do it twice, right? So when you don't have your business together, let's say you ain't got your driver's license, still like that. This happens to street guys a lot of times. We put a car in a girl's name, do different stuff that you think you're cutting a corner, which is going to have you going in circles, right? So boom, this situation was about a car. When I showed up and I've never seen anything like this. When I saw the way this person had her spot looking, I got scared. I thought, oh shit, this bitch is dead. She was laid out, looking dead, not moving. And I swear to you, every part of the crib had something on the floor. There was not one space on this floor that wasn't covered with something. To the point where if I'm lying, I'm dying on my deads. There was ketchup and mustard squirted on the carpet. Was you making a hot dog? You was literally being a carpet muncher. Literally, you was. What possible scenario where there had to be ketchup and mustard on the floor? So it was clear that it was like, oh nah, this is crazy. I took my phone out and started filming because I wanted the timestamp and everything to show I wasn't here. So if something that crazy happened, it wasn't me, right? Trying to wake them up, they're not moving. I'm like, oh, I'm thinking, yo, this is dead. She OD'd? I'm like, oh, hell no. Shaking it, she not moving. Eventually, now, this is what's funny. This is what it said in the thing. I slapped her so she can, oh my God, Jones. Oh my God, Jones. Jones, what the fuck? Oh, I was like, oh. At that moment, that sound? At that moment, he realized. I was like, oh yeah, nah, I'm cool. Because you know what happens? When you do uppers, right? They do downers because they can't sleep. So then they do like GHB, which is the date rape drug. Because when they do coke and meth and all these other uppers with these, white guys on these boats or wherever they partying at and getting there, whatever, right? Or in the clubs, in the strip clubs and the VIPs and the whatever, right? They do the counteractive drug then. They pop some bars or some perks or GHBs or these drugs that really alter your state of mind and your consciousness for real. So once I realized this, it was like, oh, right? So I'm like, hey, whoa, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, no, I'm sorry. I don't know, I just don't care right now. I'm just, da-da-da-da. Now, mind you, the crazy part of this is, there was a whole scenario about this person's kid where baby father had kidnapped the kid and done all of this extra stuff. And I actually spent $5,000 on a lawyer to get this kid back. Guess what the lawyer said to me when I walked in his office? Are you sure you got her, bro? I had no idea how deep that was. So long story short, it was, once I saw how crazy it was like, I'm sorry, Jones, but just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want any problems, like, you know what I mean? But I'm just fucked up, and I understand, I respect it, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate the, you know, the effort and whatever, you know, you did do, but, you know, this is not how, you know, yeah, I know. Just do your thing and don't, you know what I mean? Don't worry about nothing. I was already getting this car transferred into my name and spoke to the car guy who had sold the car, right? He's a fan. 8 months, no, I'm lying. 5 months go past. 5.5 months go past. I'm in Las Vegas, I'm chilling. This is not even like some, you know, this ain't like it's some Bentley or some whatever. This is just some, you know what I mean, whip around trap, you know what I mean, Lex. I'm sitting in the car, halfway falling asleep, and I look up and there's 20 cop cars around me. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? The irony, the cop that walks up to the window had just locked me up. It's horrible that this is a thing, but Vegas is sometimes it's like you might just get arrested for some shit you already paid, already dealt with, and it just didn't clear out the system. That's what they did to me. From an old warrant, an old ticket I already paid, and he was like, look, man, I'm sorry, we gotta take you, it's still in the system. I'm like, yo, bro, what you mean? Like, now you damn, I told my car, it's not in my name, right? I didn't get the title switched over yet to my name. You gonna tow my car? He's like, nah, I'm not gonna tow it, right? He's like, I'm gonna leave it right here. He left it, he kept his word. It took me 3 days to get out of it because sometimes that processing is crazy going through jail, especially in Vegas. I got out 2.5, 3 days later and for nothing, and he had left the car there, he kept his word. So this same guy is the guy, that's the cop right here. So he's like, yo, bro, I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, I don't know, man. I said, no, you're the same guy. Remember you locked me up last week over the nothing. And he's like, oh, man. He's like, man, you're having a crazy week, bro. What's like, I'm like, I don't know. You tell me what they talking about, stolen car. He's like, hold on, I'm gonna go check it out and I'll come right back. He comes back. I just saw his eyebrows was like up here. He was like, doesn't look good, bro. I'm like, what you mean? He's like, he says something about human trafficking. And I was like, what? I'm like, oh, hell no. They locked me up in Las Vegas. California has 30 days to come get you. They didn't specify on my papers what the charges was or what. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I ain't talked to this person in half a year, but I know their name is connected to this car. So that's the only reason I'm like, did this girl go do some weird ass shit trying to finesse the car? Lo and behold, when I get my paperwork, they come on the 30th day. They have 30 days to come get you, California. To be funny, they like to do funny stuff. They wait till the 30th day at 5 o'clock. Just when everybody like, yo, you might be going home, Jersey. Like, it ain't get you yet, baby. Yo, you good. You about to go home like tomorrow. No. They come and they're all, you could tell by their energy that they like, yeah, they were prepared, right? So when they're taking me out, a dude sees me, he's like, yo, y'all got the wrong dog, man. Like, y'all know who that is? Man, I'm looking at him like, no, stop. Shut up, nigga. Shut up, right? He's like, what you doing here, man? Like, nah, man, that's serious. So they're like, oh, well, people know you, huh? Little do I know they already got the old school. People know you, huh? I'm like, oh, yeah, I used to play basketball. I try to play it. Oh, yeah, I used to play ball, right? They're like, yeah, okay. Long story short, I get in the car. They start, I keep saying long story short, that's a long story. I get in the car, and the guy starts reading the charges. He can't look me in the eye. It's so crazy. He can't even look me in the eye when he's reading it. He's like, human trafficking, robbery, like he's reading these charges, and it's like, what? And he can't even look at me. And I swear to you on my daughter, this is what he says. By the end of the ride, right? So I ain't saying nothing to these guys. They keep trying to, just make small talk. You can talk to us. Yeah, I know. Thanks. Right? And I'm like, I am talking to you, right? I'm just being funny and shit. They laughing, but I'm not saying nothing about nothing. But, you want some Wendy's? Sure I do. Right? I'm about to be eating something else for the next couple. They laughing and I'm just keeping the mood light. We ain't getting into nothing though, right? They go get some McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? We got a 13 or however long hour, I think it was like 13 hours, riding in the back of this, going through the mountains, right? Beautiful ass scenery, just the mountains and sunsets and all this shit. I'm just looking all this out the window like, wow, like, I know that was just 100 years they read me if I get convicted of all that shit. So I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. So by the time when I get there, the guy says, yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. He says, I don't think this is you, man. He said, you don't seem like the guy that would do any stuff. I said, cause I'm not. That's all I said. I said, cause I'm not. And the other guy kind of like tried to hold in his laugh because he didn't want to be like inappropriate laughing at my life, I guess, or whatever. So whatever, they take me to the county. Now I'm booked in here. The first lawyer that comes to see me looks like Larry Bird's firstborn son or something. The nigga, he had no lips, like this, and he had a permanent surprised look on his face. And his whole demeanor with me was like, and I'm just looking at him like, bro, like I'm kind of getting annoyed, like, man, fix your fucking face. Like, what the fuck is this? He's just looking at me like my life's over and shit. He's like, well, no girl ever gave me money, so. I'm like, well, bro, like, I mean, I can't help that, I'm actually somebody that's, a public figure and somebody that's, a known person. So sometimes people do come and want to bring money to say, hey, let me help and support your cause. This is a person that knew about me, knew about people that dealt with me, and she wanted to come and say, I'm coming to support you. I allowed her to, and normally I'm the head of my household. If a woman I'm dealing with, especially if she's my girl or something, yes, she would. I don't know about you. I don't know who manages the bills in your house, right? So I'm just talking like this to see his whole demeanor is just like, he's like, yeah, she doesn't like she does drugs to me, so. And I am not gonna have time to come down here to show you everything. So I'm just looking like, oh yeah, nope. Lawyer, ASAP, right? So I paid $8,000. Actually, it was $1,500 just for this nigga to come to the jail. Elliot Silver. Don't ever get this guy, respectfully, if you are in the Bay Area. Yeah. He comes there, he says all the good stuff. Yeah, I know, man. I know how this gets. And girls, sometimes they're just da-da-da-da-da. But don't worry, bro. You're going to be da-da-da-da-da. Because I've seen a million cases like this. They get bitter. And I still hadn't gotten to the nitty-gritty and seen why this even happened. When I get the paperwork, so I retain this guy. Give him $8,000. When I get the discovery, come to find out, this had nothing to do with me. This didn't even start over me. She just thought that I had left the car on the West Coast and she was thinking she could finesse the car. She could do a move and make a police report saying the guy who sold the car stole the car. The first 2 hours of her interview was her trying to convince the police that the guy who sold me the car had stole the car, right? He's a part of this ring and does all this stuff and they're crazy, I'm scared of them and all of this shit. All this damsel in distress, white girl against the black guy, I'm scared move, right? They called a guy. This nigga bowled me under the bus, y'all. That nigga said like this. That nigga, first he said, what? Whoa, no, that's Serius Jones's car, the rapper from New Jersey. That is his girl and whatever they got going on. You deal with him, man, because I don't know what that's about. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Call him. So they're like, oh, really? So they come back to the girl. Why didn't you tell us about this rapper guy from Jersey? Oh, no, forget it. Forget everything. Sorry, I don't know. My bad. What you mean you're bad? You don't want your car? No, 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 it's not that. It was just an easy, fast ticket, and I didn't want that. And it's just making up all type of, it don't make sense now, right? But wait a minute, if this guy took your car, so now what? What's the next step, right? Are you gonna say, I'm sorry, guys, I just been lying to you this whole time because I'm trying to finesse this car back. I'm messed up out here. After I done did drugs, blew all my shit. I was trying to run off and live with a trick. That didn't work out. Now the only thing I can think is he left a car out here that's in my name. Maybe I could finesse that and I can get that, sell that or whatever, right? You can't say that to the police, can you? So now it's, are you scared of this man? Oh no, his friends are crazy. They'll kill me. I can't say anything to you. You know what that's gonna make them do. Oh, wait, no, wait. It's okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da, right? We got you. And this is what happens. They'll pay these people. They'll give them, and this is like, no disrespect. I'm not negating, you know what I'm saying? When someone really is a victim, you know what I'm saying? And someone really has been done wrong by somebody or really has been abused or, you know what I'm saying? All of these type of things. But when somebody just was a liar, drug addict and tried to finesse you, why do they need victim support? Why do they need to be paid to testify, to try and get somebody who actually was minding their business, doing their own thing, and you came to bother about how you can do this and this and that for them? How do they wind up being the person that's trying to traffic you? But you know what you got to do? You got to go to court for all that, because now it's a charge. And now they're going to sit there, and what's going to happen when you get in court? It's going to be a young white girl on the stand saying, this man told me to this, and this, and I didn't want to. Now, when your lawyer cross-examines them and say, well, ma'am, you're a felon. You said you've been doing whatever you've been doing, dancing, stripping, hoeing, whatever you've been doing it before you met this man. And the man was across the country. How did he even get next to you now the cross-examination might whatever, but then again, it might not. It might be the jury of my peers is not these people in this middle of nowhere county in California where it's rich white people that are going to look at it like rapper and nigger. Excuse my language, because I don't want YouTube to flag me. Rapper and black guy versus young, pure white woman. He knew what he was doing. She is innocent. That's how they really think about us, I guess. So long story short, this is going to be a long ass video and I hope it uploads. I was really touchy to talk about this because it's not that I just don't want anybody thinking that it's like I don't take this serious and this is a serious life or death situation, but I want people to understand the lessons in these type of scenarios, right? And what I learned from this. Okay, my third lawyer, right? Because now the lawyer that is supposed to be my lawyer now, he comes to court, and this is exactly what happens. There's a skinhead guy named Smasher. Shout out to Smasher, bro, from Cocoa Boys, Cocoa County. That's what they call the white, I don't know if it's white power, then whatever, but, Cocoa County, they got the white boys that, they on their shit. So Smasher is a cool white boy, man. He's I guess he's an OG or whatever out there. He's sitting behind me in the courtroom, and it's COVID, so nobody's in the courtroom. My lawyer comes up to me, and he's got this concerned look. He ain't been picking up the phone. I've been getting into it with my own family because they think I'm just in my feelings by me telling them something ain't right about this guy, right? They think, oh, you in jail, you don't know, you just in your feelings, let the man do his job. I'm telling y'all, he ain't picking up the phone, he's acting weird, he's not really on my side, he just took our money and ran. I'm knowing that's what it is. He comes up to me and he's like, this isn't looking good, man. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you need to get realistic about the fact that you're going to prison. You just need to figure out for how long you're willing to accept. I was like, oh, I'm trying to figure out why he's saying this. And I'm like, and now he's talking loud also. There's nobody in the courtroom because it's COVID. So the judge looking right at me and the DA as he's talking loud enough for them to hear. So I'm looking at his eye, I'm like, yo, lower your fucking voice. What the fuck is he doing? And he's like, I'm not understanding what he's doing at the time. What he's doing is, he's planting the seed to show them, look, I'm trying to get my client to take the plea. Y'all seen me trying to convince him right there in court. That's what he's doing. They're trading horses. They do that. They'll say, I'll give you this one if you let me get this one off. They do that, right? Especially if you got a case of human trafficking. Oh, this guy's a creep. Yeah. I'll take his money, represent him, but I ain't really going to defend him. I'll, strike a deal with you, but I need this other client off. They had them conversations about your life over brunch, nigga. Over some coffee, a mochaccino latte, and legs crossed, laughing about our lives. And yeah, man, that other case was crazy. You really tried to get me there. And so I realized in that moment I was a part of this. Oh, the guy behind me is like, Smasher's like, fire him, bro, fire him right now. You don't see what he's doing? That's when it clicked to me, like, oh. So I looked at the paper. I still wanted to see why he's saying that, right? But still, why are you saying that? Because I want to know what they got. What do you think they got on me that you can even say that? He's like, because in my mind, this is crazy. Like, what you mean? I don't even know this bitch. Nigga, she came, gave me some money, acting like she wanted to deal with me. I never made her do nothing. I never told her to go nowhere. I never gave her no specific instructions on you better this or that. None of that. All I was doing was thinking that somebody actually was feeling me. Thinking that somebody actually was trying to help me make it. And I accepted what seemed like help until I realized this person is really, whatever. So I'm trying to rationalize in my mind, I'm still in rational terms, like how could this be happening when I never tried to do, because I'm thinking about intentions and I'm thinking about actions. I'm not thinking about the system. And the fact that, well, it's the system, nigga. Now, once you're in the system, they don't, all of that, you be lucky if they find out who you really are and what you're really about and what really happened. You be lucky, right? So long story short, I see the paperwork and he said, look at all these convictions, man. I looked at the papers that he was talking about, and then I realized this nigga ain't even read my discovery. He's pointing to one case that's circled over and over for reference that has been dismissed. What are you talking about? This is not even a conviction. I got one felony from when I was a damn near teenager, from 19 years old. I don't got no felony. What are you talking about? Then he was like, oh. When he did that, it was like, oh. And I looked at the Smasher nigga, he was like, see? It was like, oh, this is how y'all be doing, niggas? Nah, yo. So, fired him right there on the spot. Oh, no, hell no. The whole jail, everybody's saying, which we're going to talk a bunch about the stories of California and how, all type of things were going on. But shout out to Colin Cooper. They kept saying, you need the Coopers, bro. The Coopers is like a Johnny Cochran type family out of the Bay Area, right? I think it's Cynthia Cooper. There's Colin Cooper, there's another Cooper. That's like a real law family that have put their work in. So they kept saying, you need that boy Cooper, man. You need that boy Colin Cooper. So I literally found them, called them. First conversation I had with this man, he kept it all the way a buck. He said, first of all, you're better off with a murder. I'm telling you right now, you're better off with a murder charge. I'm like, why is he saying that? Like, why do I want to hear that, right? He's like, no, I just want you to know. He's like, because if you had killed somebody in the projects over some gang stuff, they wouldn't care. He's like, this is the Me Too movement. As you can see, they keep putting you in the paper. They're trying to just use you as a trophy, bro. He's like, they just want to be able to, you know what I mean? They don't care about the truth. I'm just like, damn. He's like, this is going to be a fight for your life. He's like, literally, word for word, he was like, they're trying to take your life, bro. They're doing everything in their power to end your life. And I'm going to do everything in my power to fight for your life, bro. And that conversation right there is what made me be like, oh, yeah, nah. Sent him his bread. And by the grace of Allah, as I'm doing the due diligence and going through my case and going through my paperwork, I'm matching up the things that don't make sense. Like, see, if you're saying that I trafficked somebody and made them go somewhere, how did I make them? if I wasn't even around? If I wasn't even, this date shows I was on a flight here and doing this at this time, whatever. The details of it didn't really match. So I was able to present it to him in a way where now he can talk to the prosecutor and basically say, look, bro, you know what I mean? He'll admit to doing this, but he ain't do that. He ain't do this, he ain't do that, he ain't do that, he ain't do that. But we'll let you say he did this as long as you let him out. Now, I could have went to trial. I could have took it the long way and said, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't even want that on my name. Don't call me no pimp. Don't call me none of that. But the reality is I was guilty of at least, you know, accepting some money from this person. Does that mean that I pimped for that money? Not necessarily. But it does mean that I have some interaction with this person where if I'm just make it seem like, man, I ain't do nothing. I don't know that person. Well, I have interaction with this person that now it's still gonna go to trial. Still not just a easily, you know what I mean? You gotta get through it. You gotta hash it all out now in front of everybody, and it's a whole thing. I didn't think I would lose. I thought that I would have to go to court for another 2 years, at least another year. And now I'm facing life in jail for some shit that's like, what? The irony, to close this out. The irony when I went to go accept the deal, all right, you're gonna get out in another couple months, but whatever. They offered another deal where they would let me go as long as I agreed to do it, and they could put me a part of some, you know, registration that makes me look crazy, I guess. As long as I just said I did, you know, all the stuff they claim I did, which actually all came out to be ridiculous. It didn't make sense. You said, whatever, because this shit gonna be hours if I keep going. But long story short, I'm in the bullpen and I'm watching A&E, and they're showing a case of some Mexican human traffickers. They had 127 people in a house with boarded up windows where they weren't allowed to go out and somewhere. They had a bucket to go in the bathroom. They had these people in this house for months and months. They had some girls that they basically used and trafficked. They would wake them up with machine guns. They got masks on their face and they interviewing the girls right there. And they like, so how long have you been here? They like, I don't know. They're like, well, what brought you here? Well, they told me I could, you know, work and whatever, as long as I paid them back. But how much did you supposed to pay them back? $10,000. Have you paid them back? Oh, 1,000 times over. You know what I mean? I can't even remember how long I've been here, right? It's been years. It's like, oh, okay. Guess they just move them to different stash houses where they got other humans they're trafficking. So I'm waiting to the end of the story. Because I'm going to see what they gave them. Because if they on this thing, they must have got them or something, right? Guess how much they got for 127 people, humans, women, children, and men, literally basically kidnapping them and having them housed in a house for who knows. That's kidnapping, human trafficking, that's everything. They got 7 years. You know why? Most likely because they're gonna get deported anyway. And they're not niggas and rappers that you can make into a... So I say, you know, to myself, these experiences that I've kept to myself, even though I know the world knows that I've been through them, is usually because the last thing I'm trying to do is antagonize anything negative, you know what I'm saying? And trying to make anybody think that I'm bragging or glorifying. They're like, yeah, nigga, like, nah. I'm grateful that I've been able to, you know, overcome the challenges that have been presented to me, especially recently. And I definitely don't advocate for, you know what I'm saying, nobody to be no pimps and or gangsters or drug dealers or scammers or anything negative. That's not my intention in sharing my life stories, right? Even if they come from the street. But the lesson learned is if you're able to, you know, to come out of those type of situations like I have been, just don't repeat them. Don't do the same things. And even if you didn't mean to, but if you see those signs, moonwalk earlier. And that's what I should have did. I should have said, nah, fruit of a poisonous tree. You know what I'm saying? Just because the shit look right and it's right there saying here. You know, it's like Eve with the apple type shit. But yeah, that's how that happened, man. That whole situation was behind a vehicle that somebody tried to finesse a half a year after I had never even talked to them. Didn't have no issues. I thought everything was cool. But just trying to do a finesse going wrong, and I wound up being the guy that got thrown under the bus. You know what I mean? But you live and learn, man. Life is serious. Stay sucker free in a world full of lollipops. Wolfway. Life is serious.